to our first session here on Full-Time. Want to send a shout out going out to our sponsors, Racecraft Motors. They are down there on Grey Street. Now, when I first opened up my Facebook page, a particular name came up as to celebrating their birthday. Unfortunately, he's not celebrating his birthday today, but we'd like to send out a heavenly shout out, no doubt, to Ken Eruera, who would have been celebrating his birthday today. Quite appropriate, isn't it, Raa?
Oh, yeah, there's a big fella who'll be having a bit of a chuckle wherever he is and, thinking, oh, yeah, the boys still remember me. It doesn't matter if I'm here or there. His lasting legacy will remain with us. And, you miss that sort of laugh and that wit about the place. Kenny was indeed a bit of a character on the coast.
And I think his daughter, Kelly, just went home last week, so not so long ago, really. Wasn't able to catch up with Kelly Eruera though. However, joining us also from up there in Niwa FM from Paeroa, we've got our man Rino Wilkinson. Morena, bro.
Yeah, morena, boys. Good to be back on a nice, brisk Saturday morning.
Indeed it is. And joining us from Melbourne today, we have with us our man JT, Jason Tawhiwhirangi. Morena, bro.
Yeah, morning, boys. A bit cooler down here in the Victorian capital. It was 4 degrees last night earlier this morning at 1:30 when we landed.
Wow.
And we left the Gold Coast and it was 24 yesterday, so a bit of a contrast. But yeah, Melbourne was home to us for a few years, so it's good to be back in the old stomping ground, home of the mighty Melbourne Storm, home of the MCG, home of the Australian Formula One Grand Prix, home of the Australian Open Tennis, and home to nearly 5 million mad AFL fans. But yeah, morning, boys.
Morning. Now, I tell you what, you're going down there to see the Storm play today. Is that correct? There, JT?
Yeah, they're playing tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I said to last week, I said, look, we got next week off. I'll check the draw. The Storm playing the Titans, so we've got a few Gold Coast mates that are coming down to their Titan supporters. So might be an opportunity, hopefully, to rack them up after last week's abysmal, diabolical second half performance against the Canberra Raiders. But in fairness, the Canberra Raiders deserved to win that one last week. Indeed.
Well, let's get into the rugby league. Of course, on Thursday night, one heck of a game. The Bulldogs. That was one hell of a game, wasn't it? Against the Eels. The Bulldogs, surprisingly, once again, coming up with an upset there, JT.
Yeah, very surprising. Although in recent time, the Bulldogs, I think, had the second longest winning streak in the competition. So they now moved to 4 wins in a row. And that extinguishes Parramatta's previous run of 5 in a row. So, mate, the Bulldogs, they're even talking about making the 8 now. If different results go their way, they can scrape in after being, contenders for the wooden spoon for the best part of the season. But a gutsy game. Probably the biggest highlight was, the biggest talking point.
Yeah,
it was the Nathan Brown sin binning for the shoulder charge / slate hit on our Cuzzy bro Dylan Martinez-Zelezniak, and mate, just can't. The Dogs are always been known as a gritty side, a determined side, a side that never gives in, and I always like to see an underdog get up. And because I was the only one of my tipping comp that picked the Bulldogs, I'll take it. But yeah, good win to the boys from Canberra Bankstown.
What did you reckon of that game there, Reno?
Yeah, what a game to start the weekend off, eh? Wow, week 23, and ask Dylan what he thought of that game.
Yeah.
If he can remember much of it, eh? He got smacked around. Mate, he got knocked around. I'll tell you what, that's what we love about the game. We're only talking about the hits on Wednesday, Keithy. Yeah. And that brought some of the big hits in that game, mate, compared to another bloody code. Would have been in the red card bin. True. But, great, mate. Great to see the big hits, and yeah, that result's a good result for the doggy fans.
Yeah. That's the sort of stuff. That's the reason why we love these physical kind of games, isn't it? And I guess it was also wonderful seeing those guys get. Once you throw a punch, and I know who was it? Josh Jackson. I know when he came up over Nathan Brown, he wanted to swing at him, eh? He definitely wanted to swing at him, but, you know, he knew he was going to kind of cop it, but, boy, that's all part and parcel of the game, isn't it, JT?
Well, it used to be. I think there's a call by Gordon Tallis to bring back in punching.
Right.
Because it'll stop all that niggling rubbish,
yes.
you know, how we blokes run in and grab each other and
yep.
jerseys at 5 metres or whatever. But, yeah, look, Josh Jackson standing up for one of his teammates and good on him. That shows, you know, that to me is a real leader to get in there. And mate, Nathan Brown has been a grubby little player for the best part of 2 or 3 years now. I don't think he's overly skilled, but, you know, he'll get his comeuppance one day. So I'm totally in Gordon Tallis's camp with that one. Let him punch it out and it'll sort it down, settle down, and then you won't see these embarrassing little things where they run in and pull jerseys and you know, poke people in the face and all that sort of carry on. Let them punch it out, and then they'll settle down and start playing footy.
Because there was a bit of that stuff that happened in that Broncos Rabbitohs game. I think they got 2 send-offs, or two were sent in the bin. Weren't they in the Rabbitohs game from the Rabbitohs team? Wasn't there, JT?
Yeah, that has been simmering all week, mate. There was some stuff said in the media leading up to obviously these 2 coaches coached the opposite teams last year. So Wayne Bennett was at the Broncos and Anthony Seibold at South Sydney. So some stuff had been said during the week, and there's a couple of players that had left the Broncos to go to South during the year.
Yep.
So, mate, it was always going to the tension's always going to be running high there, and another good result for Wayne Bennett and South Sydney. Much needed result actually. They had been on a bit of a slippery slide, and not many predicted them to win, but. Yeah, no, good performance in particular from Damien Cook, the hooker, and
yes,
a good result.
Indeed, try that. You know, he basically try saving tackle. Some you know, great runs from Damien Cook. I thought he was quite outstanding, JT.
Mate, it almost actually made me miss my plane. I got called for boarding, and it was sort of the last 2 or 3 minutes where the Broncos were trying hard to get the ball across the line. There's a play there, I think the second to last set where what's that greedy who was named the prop, Matt Lodge, threw a dummy and went for the line, and mate, that cost him. I think if he'd sort of let it go a bit further out, they might have breached the South's defence. But no, gritty performance there from South Sydney, and the old Wiley stage, old Clint Eastwood lookalike Wayne Bennett will be happy with that one. He'd be laughing all the way back to South Sydney.
Indeed.
All the way back to Redfern.
Yes. If he would be, actually. Phil Gould came out in criticism of the Broncos, even though it was a close loss. You know, there was like maybe 20 minutes where they were, well, a man down, and most teams... you know, they just weren't able to take advantage of being a man down. What do you reckon there, Rino?
Yeah, they missed their opportunities, the Bronx, especially at home in front of their crowd. But, man, I love their game. I love what they brought to the game, the physicality, all the dirty tactic stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because JT was right. It had simmered up. It's been simmering for a little while, too, with the 2 coaches and a few of the players, and I didn't think the fireworks were going to come out like it did last night, but it sure did. And, mate, that fella Cook, he's going to be around for a long time. Bloody brilliant player, eh?
Great player.
But, hell of a game. And, yeah, you go back to the this weekend already has shown in their Cowboys game too, with Jason Taumalolo with their big win over Panthers.
Yeah.
It's just showed the physicality of this game. And, mate, these guys aren't holding back. They know there's only a few more weeks before it goes into the top 8.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, with that win over the Panthers, I guess that hasn't really done anything for the Cowboys, in my opinion, anyway. But maybe, I don't know. But didn't have the Panthers at all, did it, Reno?
No. These are these things that can happen and can determine who could be sitting at 6, 7, or 8. With the way the results are going. So, like JT said, mathematically, the Doggies could be a bit of a long shot. Obviously, got a few more games to get through this weekend. So, yeah, we'll just see how the results unfold. And might be an upset. You might see a team that might just sneak in there at number 8 or 7.
True. Now, Raa, your Sharks team, they're up against the Warriors later on today. For me, the Warriors are supposed to lose this one, which means that they'll probably win. What do you reckon, bro?
Well, I like the way you think, Keithy. You've got a bit of a back-to-front kind of mentality going there, but I don't know, the Warriors, the head honcho, the big man, the coach came down hard on them during the week, and, there were a few threats flying around that they either pull their socks up, otherwise they may well be looking for new placements in the new season, but whether or not that has any impact on, how the boys will play as they end off what has been a not so great season for them and their fans. No, I think the Sharks' bite is going to be too good for the Warriors, and as much as I'd like them to sort of upset and topple the Sharkies, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think they'll try and pull off a win. Obviously, they've got nothing to lose, and sides that are in that position tend to play a lot harder, strangely, but we'll just have to wait and see. And, I do hope, for your sake, mine, and the other Warriors faithful, that they can take away a victory, but it's a watch this space.
Now, Rad mentioned, and it wasn't actually the coach that came out saying that, some of the players had better watch out, Reno? It was actually the
manager, I think,
Cameron George, the CEO, came out, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, Stephen Kearney came out saying that he shouldn't have said things like that, and I guess in a way he's very much right. He's not the coach, he doesn't make those decisions as to who's going to be part and parcel of the team, but I guess in a way that's the sentiment that most of the supporters feel, especially what he was saying, Reno? What do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, well, I suppose he's put his head on the chopping block when you think as a CEO he's answerable for the whole thing.
Yeah,
he could see himself out the door and down the road without a job, without a big salary coming in for him. So he's got to front it up. He's got to front it up and cover not only just the supporters, but everyone that's associated with the whole Warriors franchise. More predominantly, it's the sponsors. They're bringing in the money, and
right.
He's just saying what he wants to say. Basically, what he said is saying what most of the public and the fans are saying. Steve Kearney needs to take a good look at himself. I'll tell you what, if I was a CEO, I would have sacked him.
He's
done nothing really good. He's done nothing really good for their club, the team, and nothing. But then again, the players got to look at themselves as well. So, good on him. He's had enough, obviously. And if you rewind the clock back to the start of the season and what they were going to do at the celebration of 25 years and where his goals were set for this club for this year, it has not worked. So he ain't happy, and good on him.
He is basically
got to take a bit of that.
He's basically saying pretty much exactly what the fans, the Warriors fans, want to hear and need to hear, probably. Hey, do you reckon that, Reno?
Oh, totally agree with you, 100%. He's just saying what the people are saying, mate. You can see it on social media. You can see the bagging of them, and it's not painting a pretty picture. And obviously, the pressure's on definitely from the big sponsor. It's Vodafone.
Yeah.
Because Vodafone have been associated of recent with another outfit that's coming up as well. So you could see potentially a big financial loss from a corporate sponsor like that.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot more behind the scenes that's not been released at this stage. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Obviously.
But
they lost Suzuki.
Right.
They've lost a lot of corporate sponsors, and they don't want to be associated with clubs, and Raa knows this, and JT knows this. If you ain't winning, they don't want to be associated with you.
Yeah, fair enough too. Fair enough. So my estimation was the Warriors would win because they should lose. What do you reckon there, Reno?
Sharks, mate. Sharks will demolish them again, just like last week the Roosters did.
Well, what's going to be interesting, I suppose, is, Harris Tavita, how he'll go up against Sean Johnson. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one. Two young guys going ahead, obviously. Sean is kind of picking his game up over the last few weeks, which is good to see for him, up against his old teammates. And that'll be a good game. I think that it's too structured in the forward pack. Gallen, he'll bring the boys through. But, yeah, it'll be an interesting game. But, mate, for me, I think the Sharks might be just too good. They potentially want to stick in there and hang in the top 8.
What do you reckon there, JT, Sharks Warriors?
Yeah, Sharks got a lot to play for with the Broncos and the Panthers losing. That gives them a better shot at making their top 8 and cementing their place. But that said, look, mate, I listened to the corridor and I read stuff about the Warriors, and I'm not normally a big fan of sacking the coach, but